We are back with new details about the man suspected of killing 22-year-old University of Georgia student Laken Riley. New records show the suspect, Jose Antonio Ibarra, may have already had a criminal record while in the U.S. Police also say Ibarra was in the country illegally, sparking outrage among some Republican lawmakers. They say the Biden administration is partially responsible for this attack. This all comes as University of Georgia students continue to mourn the loss of Riley. A campus vigil is being held later today as the family prepares for her funeral. NBC News Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley joins us now with the latest on this. Julia, good morning. So what new details are we learning about the suspect and his record at this point?
Well, just over the weekend, Savannah, we learned that Ibarra had been arrested by the NYPD in New York just of September of last year for acting in a manner that would injure a child under 17. It's not clear what the details of that actually was, and for a motor vehicles violation. He was arrested, but because New York is a sanctuary city and doesn't tell the feds, meaning ICE in this case, when they're going to release an undocumented immigrant, they did not tell ICE, so they couldn't make what they would call a detainer request to hold them until ICE could come pick him up to have him removed. This is a controversy we've seen play out time and time again, where someone has served their sentence, but ICE wants to be able to come in and remove people who have been charged with crimes so that they can be top of the list for deportation. And in this case, Ibarra was released without ICE knowing it, and he went on to commit this crime, allegedly.
So we're hearing from Georgia Governor Kemp, who's partly blaming this crime on President Biden's border policies. Tell us more about this and what we're hearing are other lawmakers in Congress, as some of them agree with some of Kemp's criticism.
Yes, it's no surprise that we would start to see a lot of this unfortunate death become played out in politics, especially because immigration is such a hot button issue going into the 2024 presidential campaign. Kemp is first among them to say that this man should not have been in the United States, and it's because of the border policies. We do have to point out, though, that these same policies of releasing someone pending a court trial and of these cities not cooperating with feds go back at least through the last 3 administrations. But it is true he's Venezuelan, and under the Biden administration, the number of Venezuelans has skyrocketed. They're now usually the top 1 or 2 nationalities crossing the border every month. That, of course, has a lot to do with what's going on in Venezuela. A lot of people fleeing that country. And most recently, Venezuela stopped allowing the U.S. and Mexico to deport their nationals back to Venezuela. That was something they just agreed to last fall. They've closed the door again, intensifying this whole conversation.
What does this tell us about some of the larger frustrations over Biden's immigration policies?
Well, it comes down to numbers. We know that studies have shown that undocumented immigrants per person commit fewer crimes than American citizens. We've had studies come out time and time again to show that. But now we have so many more undocumented migrants in this country. The last 2 years have been record setters, one topping the last. A lot of that has to do with the conditions in Central America, South America, like we said, Venezuela. The number of countries of people coming here has just been added to the list. We see a lot more Chinese people now, people from Africa, all over the world. There are global migration patterns. But because there are so many more undocumented migrants here, we may start to see more crimes. There was another crime that was largely reported on from 4 Venezuelan migrants attacking police in New York City just last month. These are all things that are starting to get a lot more attention as this policy becomes, as immigration policies under the Biden administration become more and more scrutinized.
All right, Julia Ainsley, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.